As you already know, I grew up eating fresh handmade corn tortillas. Every night, I would help my mom to gather the maize so that she could leave it cooking all night to make the masa. The following morning, we would walk about 1 mile to get the nixtamal, or the cooked corn kernels, grinded really smoothly into masa, or corn dough for these tortillas. The rest of the morning was then spent cooking lunch and making these tortillas. They were the best I have ever eaten in my entire life. From time to time, if my mom had a little bit of extra masa, she would make us these delicious gorditas. Gorditas are these almost like round corn pouches made from the corn dough, almost like a thick tortilla. Once cooked, you make a slit in them and then you fill them up with usually a protein. They're made in so many different ways all over Mexico, and sometimes the name even varies. And they can be both savory or sweet. My mom most often made Gorditas de Frijoles, or bean gorditas, which is one of the most common ways that they can be found. Therefore, I want to share with you my easy version of a bean gordita. I will show you how to make them with the least fat possible and how to flavor them perfectly, even if I don't have access to super fresh corn masa like my mom's. I started by preparing my masa. I mixed the masa harina, or dried corn flour, with all-purpose flour, salt, and baking powder in a bowl. I then added water little by little until the dough got a little sticky. I mixed the dough with my hand for about 5 minutes until I could form a nice uniform ball like this. This will make the dough for the gorditas. To fill my gorditas, I will be preparing some special refried beans for you. This isn't the way I always make refried beans because I've added some other ingredients to build even more flavor. See, the gordita dough is pretty mild in taste, so I want the beans to bring out even more flavor. For the toppings, I sliced some tomatoes and onions and I let them sit in some lime juice in a bowl with just a sprinkle of sea salt. The lime juice will add the perfect acidity for this dish. These gorditas are completely vegan, but if you prefer, you can top them with a sprinkle of queso fresco or a little bit of crema agria. My mom always served them that way. So let's make this gorditas. To make this dough, I'm taking the masa and separating it into 4 equal balls, just like this. Now I'm using this awesome tiny little gordita press to press them evenly. If you don't have one of these, you can just use a heavy plate or something that will just press them down evenly. Now we put them in a hot comal or skillet and cook them for about 2 minutes on each side until you get golden brown spots, like this. In a pan, I'm adding some corn oil and a little bit of onion. I'm turning this to medium heat and letting the oil just bring out the flavor. Now we can lower the heat a little bit and we're gonna add our beans. And let this cook down for about 10 minutes. Now we're ready to add some spices. Some cumin, black pepper, and a little bit of oregano. Mix it all well. And for this recipe, I like to smash my beans a little bit with the back of my spoon. This way we're creating a little bit more of a paste so the beans won't fall out of the gorditas.
Late night stories, running naked, cutting through the breeze. Peace in your eyes, knocking into eyes. Catching stars and seas.
So these beans are basically ready. Oh, and I'm using Mayocoba beans for this recipe because I prefer them. I really love the flavor, but you can use pinto beans, black beans, or anything similar. So that's it, they're ready. To serve the gorditas, I simply made a slit in the middle with a sharp knife, just like this. Then I added the beans, the tomatoes, the onions, and just a sprinkle of queso fresco. And for me, I can't forget some salsa. So I used some salsa de jitomate for this recipe. And that's it, a perfect little gordita. I may not have the fresh corn from my grandpa's farm anymore, but these are still delicious and they still bring back all of the memories of making tortillas next to my mom. Buen provecho.